How's it going, everybody? David Hedge here, House Hedge Gaming, and today I am looking at a game that has some of the most adorable little buggers that you will ever see, facing catastrophes the likes of which they were never prepared for. Let's take a look at Doomlings. Alright, let's go over how to play Doomlings, a delightful card game for the end of the world. Now in this game, you and your friends are helping these little Doomlings evolve in a world that is filled with catastrophes and other magnificent parts of the ages. Now, the way to win this game is to be the person with the most points at the end. So, setup for the game is very simple. First, you will get a gene card and set the number to 5. Then, you will get trait cards. They will shuffle up, and you will deal each player 5 traits. Now, these traits will come in 5 different colors. Now, these will also score you points at the end of the game, depending on the number at the bottom. But also, there's ones that will score points at the end of the game when certain conditions are met. Now, as far as the trait cards go, you have 4 different ones that you'll be going with. So, you have ones that have actions that are special effects that only occur when played from your hand. So, inventive is definitely one of those. You have cards like late, that with this rate they can be played out of turn because they have this little symbol on the bottom here. You have cards with the little symbol here. These will score you points at the end of the game. And then finally, you have cards with this little symbol here that affects what happens with them at the end of the world. Now, once you have those traits, you will also be wanting to look out for dominant traits. Now what these are, these will score you major points at the end of the game, but you can only have 2 dominant traits in front of you at the same time. So be careful which ones you come across and which ones you want to play. Once you have the traits dealt out, then you need to build the card for the age deck. Now there's 2 different cards you're getting to worry about for the ages. So for example, you have these normal ones here. You have like Birth of a Hero, Lunar Retreat, Flourish, and these will affect the game every time a new one gets turned over. But you will also have to deal with catastrophes. Now this is how the game ends, because when 3 of these show up, that means the game is over and the world has ended, and that's when you score the points. So with these, when they pop up, you'll have to do the effects in white, and at the end of the world, the 3rd catastrophe, you have to deal with this yellow part at the end. So to set up the deck, you will take 3 of the good ones, and you will deal them out in 3 stacks of 3. Then you'll take a catastrophe card and deal 1 to each of those stacks. You will then shuffle those stacks together, then you will stack them one on top of each other, and finally put the Birth of Life card on top of that stack. Finally, you will give each player a handy tip guide. It gives you all the information about taking a turn and the cards that are being used, and once you do that, it's time to start playing the game. Alright, let's go over the parts of a turn. Before that happens, you got to determine who gets to be the first player, and they will get a nice little marker. You can use anything for the marker for first player, but I personally have a True Dungeon token, so I will put that here to designate the first player. Now this marker will move around once each catastrophe comes up. So what you do on your turn is that you will play a trait card, and if there's anything that the age messes with, you'll have to abide by those rules. But for this one, for the Birth of Life, you just play a trait card each turn, stabilize at the end of your turn. So for me, I will play Spiny. Just gives me 1 point, but it's a start. If it had an effect, you would go on ahead and resolve the effect on the card. So for example, something like Selfish, you get to steal a red trait from another opponent's trait pile, which is what you'll be building up during the game. Once you have played a card and resolved the trait on there, then you stabilize. Now to stabilize, you compare your gene pool number with the number of cards in your hand. So in this case, I have 4 cards. My gene pool is 5. I get to draw a card to go back up to 5 cards in hand. Now, if I have, say, 6 cards in hand, and the gene pool is 5, I got to discard down to the 5 and make sure it's even. Like, that's the gene pool, because you have a bunch of traits. It makes perfect sense. Once you're done playing, you stabilize, then play goes on to the next player, and then we go on to the next age. Everybody has played their cards. You then go to the next age by saying the Birth of Life aside and flipping over the next card on top. Now, you will go by whatever the parameters are on that age, and play will proceed around again. Then you'll go to the next one. And And so we have a pulse event. So that's a catastrophe. So what that does, two things will resolve when you flip over catastrophe. Number one, you have to do what the card says. So this one you have to affect your gene pool. So this one here will go down to 4 to everybody's gene pool, and then you have to discard a card from your hand for every purple trait in your trait pile. After that, you then move the first player token to the next player. Now you don't have to worry about the yellow part of the catastrophe cards until the third one is revealed. And that's simply how it goes. You will then go on to the next stage. You will start a second stack, and you'll just keep flipping, playing cards until you hit the next one. And then everybody plays some more cards. And once that third catastrophe flips over, you resolve the card, even the world's end effect, and then you will total up the number of points you have depending on the ones that you have for just the numerical numbers that are in the corner. Any cards that needed special conditions met at the end of the game, and also all of your world's end effects will trigger here as well. Now, once you total up everybody's points, the person with the most points wins the game. And that is how you play Doomlings, a delightful card game for the end of the world. Well, there you have it. That is how to play Doomlings. And I know this game's been out for a while, but I haven't had a chance to really sit down and take a look at it. But the people that make the game, they gave me a copy to review and to play on the channel, and I can't thank them enough. This is a really fun game to start off a game night. It's quick, it's easy to learn, and it's a colorful characters being destroyed by catastrophe after catastrophe, but they're going through all these different ages, and you see all the various traits they can get along the way. And it's definitely a great way to start off a game night. Plus, it travels well. It's in a small box, so if you're going to a convention or if you get stuck in a hotel room because of bad weather, you break out this game with some friends, I guarantee you're going to have a fun time. Like, who doesn't like seeing these little buggers all of a sudden get struck by a meteorite and you go to the next age? It's a fun time. It definitely puts the fun in the end of the world. But thank you so much for checking out this video. If you like it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let everyone know that House Hedge Gaming is here for all of your gaming needs as the countdown to Gen Con 2024 marches on. So until next time, my friends, stay safe and take care.